Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel T-Spot. In a recent video, I talked about time travel in Outlander. I mentioned everything necessary for the characters to go on their magical journey, from the stone circles in different locations to the gemstones they need to hold on to. While delving into the details of time travel, I left one issue untouched because it required more time and space. The issue was about this question: is it possible to change history or the future in Outlander? My short answer was no in the video, but I told you I would expand on it if you guys were interested. Some of you agreed with me and wanted me to talk more about it, while others thought that time travelers could change a few things. Well, let's go right into it. I started to think more and more about this subject because of Outlander Season 7 and the Fraser's Ridge fire that occurred in Episode 2. As you may remember, Bri and Roger knew this fire would happen because they saw an obituary for Jamie and Claire in an old newspaper. That's why Bri went back in time. She wanted to warn her parents about the fire. In Season 7, the fire happens and Bri and Roger learn that Jamie and Claire survived the fire. For them, this meant that they changed history. In their minds, they prevented the death of two people, but they don't know that what was written in the newspaper was never accurate. Tom Christie heard about the fire and assumed Jamie and Claire were dead. That's why he put an obituary in the newspaper, believing they had to be memorialized. But while this obituary was a piece of historical evidence, it was always factually inaccurate. So Bri and Roger did not change a thing. They just think they did it based on the false obituary. But Outlander has been filled with travelers going back in time to attempt to change things, while Claire did not travel to change things at first. But she and Jamie tried to stop the Battle of Culloden. Were they successful? No. Gaelish Duncan went back through time to put Prince Charlie on the Scottish throne. Did she succeed? No. Another example is Ottertooth and his friends, including Wendigo Donner. They tried to warn the Native Americans about what would happen if they did not repel the colonialists. Ottertooth was utterly ignored and killed for trying to prevent his people from being wiped out. The same goes for Wendigo Donner and the other three time travelers. They failed. They couldn't change anything. Jamie and Claire already know this. Before Season 7 started, Sam Hewitt talked about this issue in an interview. He said they've learned from past experience that they can't change the course of history. All they can do is try and be on the right side. And I agree entirely. They cannot change anything because everything in the past already happened. When Claire read about history in the 20th century, what she read about had already happened. When those books were written, Claire had already lived in the 1700s. She just didn't know about it yet. There is no version of 1740 without Claire. She had to go back in time to ensure that everything would happen just as it was supposed to happen. You can compare it to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. The characters were always meant to go back in time and cause events in the future, so nothing really changes. In fact, their presence in the past is necessary for history to occur as it is. The past never existed without Claire or Galus in it. Their actions did affect history because they were a part of the time just like everyone else, but their efforts never changed the future. They just ensured everything happened like it was supposed to. They are fundamental to what's to come. While Claire tries to stop the events she knows will happen, her actions just help those events to be carried out. It's almost as if the universe guides Claire to ensure that these events, the Battle of Culloden or the Revolutionary War, happened. Also, if the time travelers could change history, it would have been a mess. There is not just one time traveler in the story. We saw many of them throughout the seasons. Suppose every one of them could change history. In that case, we don't know what the results would be because every traveler would have their own desires and motivations. They could want different things from the future and act according to that. And even if you did something and changed history, another time traveler could change it again. In my opinion, this theory that characters can change stuff, even little things, does not work. Consider the scene where Claire sees a skull in Joe Abernathy's office. She sees the skull but doesn't know who it belongs to. When she goes back in time later, she realizes that it's Galus's skull because it was Claire who killed her. So even before Claire went back in time, Galus was already dead and her skull had already ended up in that condition. Claire just traveled through time to play her part in the story. Nothing more. Now, what do you think? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.